This is this view right here from the theater down to where he walks in. It's like 15 or 20 minutes into the movie. He starts with the shotgun, and he begins to pull the trigger. This shotgun. Boom! A.J. Boyk, who had been sitting with his fiancée, is hit and killed as 14 pellets penetrate his brain. Boom! Our Air Force soldier, Jesse Childress, who had come with his friends and purchased their tickets. He too is hit by the shotgun blast, and it rips through his lungs, heart, and organs, and he dies. Gordon Cowden, our 51-year-old single father, boom. And he dies next to his daughters. Rebecca Wingo, 32, single mom of 2 girls. Boom. But she gets hit with the shotgun, and when he puts the shotgun down and goes to the rifle, she gets hit with the rifle as well. Jessica Gawi, our would-be reporter. I don't have a picture to show of her right now because she gets taken out of the theater. And that's one you should only have to see once. But she doesn't make it. John Larimer, our Navy sailor, he's shot and killed by that rifle. Bullet rips through all of his organs, comes out of his body, enters his arm, and breaks his radial bone in his arm. His friends from the Navy that are there, they try to pull him out of the theater, but they can't do it because he's dead. And so they pull him as far as they can, and he ends up being propped up at the bottom of the stairs before they have to leave him. Michaela Medic, the 24-year-old subway worker who graduated high school early and found those much better seats up towards the top of the theater, she too takes a blast to the head, and she dies in that theater. He says to Dr. Metzner, I shot at people trying to get away. I shot at people trying to flee the theater, to try to go out the exits, to make sure that others wouldn't follow. Angiat Mora and his wife and 17-year-old son were there, and he shot each of them as they tried to flee from that theater. But they lived, and you'll get to hear from them. Rita Pauline is his wife, and his son is Prodeo. Farah Soudani, the Red Robin worker, remember? She gets shot and is eviscerated. Her organs pour out of her, and she needs to have help holding them in as first responders come and take her away. The back of her leg is also shot. It's missing a huge chunk of it now, and you'll see that. Alex Sullivan, Sully, there for his birthday. Big man, one round, goes right into his heart, and he dies right there. Alexander Teves, Tom and Karen's son, hoping to get married to Amanda with them. He's shot in the head, a horrible wound, and he dies in that theater too. Jonathan Blunk, our would-be sailor, our would-be member of the SEALs, also died in that theater from gunshot wounds that ripped through his head and his body. Jonathan was there with his friend, and he had draped himself over her, and the bullets that killed him came from behind. One through the back left of his skull, perforating his brain. The other through his lower left back, perforating most of his major organs. Matt Mcquinn, who'd gotten a seat pretty close to the front of the portion where the railing is, but not at the front of the theater. He's shot more times than almost anybody else. His legs are shot multiple times. He's shot multiple times throughout his body. And just falls in this horrible way and dies right there. Caleb Medley. Caleb Medley, our aspiring comedian. Caleb Medley is shot in the face, and he loses his eye, and there's blood pouring out of his head. And his 9-month pregnant wife thinks he's dying. She takes a cup of water, and she pours it on his face during a lull in the fighting to try to help him. When the first responders get there, they grab her and say, "We gotta go, we gotta go." She thinks he's dead or dying. She kisses him on the head, and she says, "I will raise our son." She ends up going to the hospital to deliver the baby that day, and 2 floors above her, he's having life-saving brain surgery. You'll see Caleb tomorrow. Aiden Avila Arredondo came to the theater with, I believe, a wife and other members of his church. His wife was the one that left those flip-flops by the AR-15 you saw at the door. He got shot in the leg. He didn't just lose the flip-flop. They would end up having to take the foot as well. But then our third providential act, that assault rifle jams. 65 rounds into a 100-round drum, it jams. And you can see the drum on the right. And he can't fix it. It is chaos around him. Death, people fleeing, and he walks to go down the hallway in the theater to find the light so that he can work on the jam, but he can't. So he drops the 100-round magazine, and he tries to use one of his 40-round magazines, but he still can't clear the jam. So he dumps the AR-15 outside, having left unfired 218 additional rounds that he'd brought. Dumps these magazines right here. He then goes to his handgun, and he fires off 5 rounds with that .40 caliber Glock, just at people. That's what the FBI did for theater number 9. They tried to match the trajectory of all the shots that guy fired out of the corner of that theater, moving up and around. This is a view from the front and where some of those rounds struck. But they didn't just go through seats, they went through walls. And as he shot at people, and I should tell you this because I forgot to, he takes one of those tear gas canisters when he first comes in and wings it at this exit, over in that area. He doesn't have the second one to close off the other exit. But people try to go, and he shoots, and it goes through the walls, and it goes into theater number 8. And you will hear from people who were shot in the face and in their body from bullets that went through theater 9 into theater number 8. Here's the rods that are their trajectories.